Welcome back to Chasing Winners College Football Edition. Kyle Maslony here with JP Lyon. As always, we took a little bit of a week off last week, but JP was in Hawaii. But it really wouldn't have worked out timing wise. We made an attempt, but we're back this week, week 12. Just 2 weeks left in the college football regular season. Wild. JP, first off, how was Hawaii?
Hawaii was awesome. Got to golf a couple mornings. That was probably my favorite part for sure. Travel sucks. Don't do it. Flying everywhere, bad. I'm spending 6 weeknights at my apartment this month. So getting a little tired of that, but overall, pretty fun. Did not want to block 3 hours to record and edit a podcast. Just, I'll hand up. That's on me. Didn't want to do it.
Well, you're the one that actually edits it, so I'm never gonna blame. I'm never gonna blame you for not wanting to put that effort in.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you can learn to edit it, and we could have done it. That would have worked.
I don't know about that. But we're back with a pretty weird lines throughout this entire slate for college football this week. We're going to get into that shortly. JP, first off, though, how did we do last week?
So last week, and I don't have the graphic for last week because we didn't really record, so you don't need to see our picks. But 2 weeks ago is the graphic we're showing, which I should really just show the graph from last week because that's the one I won. But 2 weeks ago, Kyle beat me by 4 games. 5 wins, 3 losses. Yeah, he beat me by 4 games. It was rough. Kyle went 9-5-1, 3-2-1 on the podcast picks. Lost his best bet. I went 4-8-3, also 3-2-1 on the podcast picks. So again, still maintain the 1 game back of Kyle at the time in podcast picks, and he stretched his lead out to 11 in overall picks. Podcast probably lost. And then last week, Kyle went 10-5, 3-3 on games that would have been podcast picks. 11-4 for me overall, and 4-2 on games that would have been podcast picks. So now we are all square on podcast games, and I'm 10 games back on overall picks. So
I just win the unimportant games.
It's really sad. I don't know. You gotta stop putting bad games in the weekly picks.
Hey, I've stopped putting the standalone games in. If you've seen that, I've stopped forcing a standalone game in there just because it's on a random day.
That's helpful. I was hoping you wouldn't put Buffalo, Miami, Ohio last night.
Yeah, Maction honestly really helped me do that because it's just like, am I really gonna put Maction games in here in like our pick'em for the season? I'll watch them. I'll bet on them separately, but
Same.
Not necessarily for the pick'em for the record.
Miami, Ohio -7.5 last night. It was great.
I saw something crazy happen there. I was working, so I didn't really see it.
Yeah, at the end there, Buffalo turned it over when they were driving. I was watching with one of my coworkers who went to Miami, Ohio, and I was more invested in the game than he was. He was like facing away from the TV, eating dinner. I was like, dude, your team's on. I bet on them. And I do have to apologize. I said bad football. No such thing as bad football. It's somewhere in this poster. So no such thing as bad football. I formally apologize.
Never a thing is bad football. Speaking of bad football, the first game we're gonna go over here, noon game ABC. You like my segue here? Tyler Van Dyke is back, starting for Miami at home against number 10 Louisville. If you want to know what that joke is, if you haven't been following, I've been ranting about it a little bit. That is 11 interceptions in his last 5 games played, one of which he played 1 drive, which was last week, the Florida State game. We actually had a chance to win the game with a true freshman. He gets injured. Tyler comes in and throws a pick on the game-tying drive. But what's funny, I haven't even said the line yet because I just went right into my rant here. It's like it's like my God, Emory didn't even have to play well. Emory Williams, the true freshman, went 8 for 23 for 175 yards, 2 touchdowns. He just didn't have to throw interceptions. We don't turn the ball over. We're good enough to hang with the best teams in the country. We don't turn the ball over. We're good enough to dominate Texas A&M. Like, just don't turn the fucking ball over. And for that reason, we have the quarterback that turns the ball over back in, and we're somehow 1-point favorites against number 10 Louisville. What the hell is going on here? I mean, obviously the performance last week peaked a lot of interest, got people back believing in Miami, I guess, but with Tyler Van Dyke back in there, are they just assuming he's gonna stop throwing interceptions now?
He might. Louisville has a bad defense, right?
Yeah, not great.
I thought they actually had a good defense.
But I mean, does NC State have this phenomenal defense? Does UVA have this phenomenal defense? Like UVA's defense is actually pretty good. I'll give them that. Georgia Tech, I mean, they forced multiple turnovers against Tyler Van Dyke. So you're telling me Louisville can't do the same? It's crazy. You know, I'm the person with the most faith in my team, right? Right now with him at quarterback. If Emory Williams was healthy and playing, I would pick us to win this. I'm spoiling my pick there, but I would pick us to win this game pretty handily if Emory was playing. Honestly, I've said since the beginning of the season I don't think Louisville's that good. I still kind of believe that. Their schedule's light. I mean, the only ranked team they've played all year has been Notre Dame. They beat them, but there's a loss to Pitt on there. I guess Duke was ranked when they played them, but not anymore. They blew them out of the water. Yeah, I think this is going to come down to Tyler Van Dyke's turnovers, and whether he stops turning the goddamn ball over. It's literally that simple. We don't turn the ball over. We don't throw 3 interceptions. We win this game. I'm going to trust him to not throw 2 or 3 interceptions. And I'm going Canes -1. Fuck it. Let's do it.
I don't even know if you said the total on this game.
I didn't.
I don't know if you said the channel it's on. I think you said noon, but
I said noon on ABC.
Okay.
I know I said that.
Okay. All right. You said that to start then. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the total?
The total is 46.5.
There's a lot of
really low, but
there's a lot of dumb games that I've bet on recently that all have a total of 46.5. And by recently, I mean BC Pitt tonight and Bengals Ravens tonight. Public is only 63% on Louisville.
Wow.
I say only for a reason there, because nothing about these teams would make me want to take Miami here. Except the line.
And I mean, if you didn't know that our quarterback that played against Florida State last week was injured, maybe that performance would inspire you, but
no. No, it's still Miami. But I'm going to take Miami. Miami -1. What could go wrong? They could probably they could lose like maybe like a 37-10. I could see.
We're not losing 37-10. That we're not doing. We don't get blown out. Our defense is too good for that.
All right. So Miami in the under then.
All right. So you're just thinking we're not going to score. We're going to turn the ball over too much.
We'll see.
My friend just texted me. It was funny. I texted him before the podcast started. Like, what does Vegas know? Why are we favorites now? And he's like, I don't think they know anything. I think they're just assuming that TVD magically figured out how to throw the football again.
Well, we can't sit on this podcast and say that Vegas doesn't know anything. So we're going to have to put that in quotes, in specific quotes from him. This is not sponsored by us.
No. Not sponsored by us whatsoever. But, yes, yeah. I think that's what we're all thinking. It's like, I guess they think that Tyler – not that Vegas doesn't know anything. That Vegas thinks that Tyler looked good – got intel that Tyler looked good in practice or something. So –
I mean, they could get that intel about Baylor every week. Doesn't translate, and yet we're going to keep saying that we look great in practice.
But God, a win over a top 10 team and a chance to go 8-4 next week.
That'd be fun.
That'd be a successful season. Somewhat.
Successful. You sat on the first episode and told me you were going 12-0.
God, you're right. I say we're going 12-0 every year.
You're moving the goalposts back four losses.
I mean,
you almost lost to Virginia. You're calling the season a success.
I need to rephrase that. Given the situation of how who was supposed to be our star quarterback has looked this year, a 9-win season, meaning we win both of these games and win our bowl games, would have seemed like a miracle. Like just
9-4 in spite of his play would be a success.
Yes,
okay, that makes sense.
Yes, 9-4 in spite of Tyler's play would be a big time success, and
that makes sense,
and would make me feel good about next season, going in with a freshman quarterback that has a win over Clemson and a close game on the road against Florida State. But I'm looking too far ahead. We need to win this week for any of that to happen. Miami -1, put it down.
We could win out. And I would not think the season was a success, just for the record.
Next game here, 2:30 on, oh my God. How is this game on the Pac-12 network? You could watch it. I can't. We have a top 25 matchup on the Pac-12 network because the Pac-12 still hates promoting their product, even though it's in their last year. Number 22 Utah on the road against number 17 Arizona. Arizona are a 1-point favorite. This is another game where I'm saying, what the hell is this line?
This is one where I was more surprised by it before, as I dropped my phone. More surprised by it before I looked at the rankings. What are they in the CFP?
The CFP is 22 Utah, 17 Arizona.
Yeah, so like -1 for 17 versus 22 at home, I guess. I don't know. It still sticks out, but isn't as bad as I thought it was before. Public is pretty split on this game, 52% Arizona. And I like what Arizona's doing the last couple of weeks. I think it's definitely a step in the right direction for them. They look really good. I just personally, I don't make any money betting against Utah. It just doesn't work for me.
Never.
So I'm going to go ahead and take Utah +1. Not really thinking about this all that much. I say as this is the game that I was thinking about when I left my computer before we started recording. But the Warriors are only down 7 now. I just have to take Utah +1. I don't really love either side, but if you're going to give me a team that will always lose me money and a team that, well, Arizona will also always lose me money because I usually bet against them. But I'll take Utah +1 here. I don't know.
A team that I've consistently bet on all season, Utah. I'm gonna keep doing it. Utah +1 here as well. I don't have much to say on it. I mean, they played Washington pretty close last week. They beat USC, which doesn't really mean much anymore, but got spanked by Oregon. But I still trust them. I still trust that they'll get the job done against Zona. Just something about it. I just can't fathom the fact that Arizona is good again, even though they are. They're very good.
But what time is this game at?
What's up?
What time is this game at?
2:30. Weird one.
2:30 Eastern.
2:30 Eastern.
Super weird window.
Yeah. 1:30 Central. On Pac-12 network.
This is going to be a dumb ending. I can see it right now. This is going to be dumb.
It's bound to be, right? Just a dumb ending that nobody sees, but everybody just hears about on YouTube.
Yeah, this is like a Friday night game that's being played at 1:30 Central Time.
Yeah, pretty much. Moving on down here, 3:30 CBS. Number 1 Georgia on the road against number 18 Tennessee. Georgia are 10.5-point favorites. Total is 59.5. I remembered to say the total this time. Would you look at that? JP, what are you thinking on this one?
I think the committee finally got it right. Georgia is the number 1 team, and they finally started playing like it too. So there's that. Big win over Ole Miss last week. Last week? Was it last week? I can't tell time anymore.
Last week, yeah, 52-17.
One of us.
Brock Bowers is back too.
He is back, and he's good. Did you know that?
Yeah, I know he's pretty good. I've heard that. I've seen it too.
The rest of the offense actually somehow got better, which actually makes sense because in his absence they got good, and now the whole offense is good again. But unfortunately, 86% of the country is on Georgia. And so I'm going to take Tennessee +10.5.
Oh, man.
I don't really like it. I kind of hate it, actually. But this is the only number that we're going to talk about that's over 63%. And it's 86%. So that's stark of a difference. Well, actually, not the only one, because my best bet is actually at 88%. But yeah, I can't see 86% and take Georgia as much as I want to. So I'll just pick them to rotate games they cover. So Missouri they didn't cover, Ole Miss they did, Tennessee they won't. They'll win by exactly 10. How's that?
So with that's what I was gonna say. With the 10.5 hook, they could easily win this game by 10 and not cover. But as somebody who was on Ole Miss last week, was it +9.5, +10.5? It looks
I think it was 10 exactly.
It looks like it closed at 10.5 according to ESPN Bet here. God, can't get used to that. But yeah, I watched them get absolutely steamrolled through a whole second half. After keeping it close for a little while, was it tied in the second quarter at some point, I believe?
I think that's right. Yeah.
14-14, and then it ended up 52-17. Um, Jesus, that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
I know 86% of the public is on that side. I also know it is very hard for me to pick against Georgia right now because they're on an absolute tear going into the playoff. I'm just assuming they're going to be there going into the SEC championship more so. That's going to be a big hurdle to get through for them. But yeah, I'm going Georgia. I'm going Georgia minus 10.5. I can't believe it. I'm being a complete square. I'm gonna regret it. Like I just can't in my right mind not do it this week after what I saw last week and the
Actually,
week before.
you being the square, we can envision that. That does not surprise me. And
My record this year says otherwise.
hurtful. The where did that go? Oh yeah. So Georgia covered in week 9, didn't cover in week 10, covered last week. This week they don't cover.
Oh no, are we heading towards a Georgia Tech streak, but instead of just winning and losing games, just covering?
Which is way more helpful for us.
It is. Except Georgia Tech were always underdogs, so them winning games would have been helpful if we actually paid attention.
Yeah. I do like that you killed that streak, though.
I completely killed that streak. It ended with me.
And you brought Clemson back to life, so you can't be happy with yourself about that.
No, not at all. Miami is a win over them, but no, not happy about that. Tyler Van Dyke doesn't have a win over them though. Moving on to the next game, same time, 3:30 ESPN. The team we just mentioned, nice segue there, JP.
Thank you.
Number 20 UNC on the road at Memorial Stadium against unranked Clemson. Clemson are 7.5-point favorites. Over/unders 59. This is when we really get into what is this line territory, because what in the world is going on here? Clemson's 7.5-point favorites. I mean, I know they've come back to life, but come on.
This is insane. This and the last game we're going to talk about are two of the more shocking lines I've ever seen. This is probably the best of the week. The fact that 54% of the country is on Clemson here is insane.
Oh no. The country really believes they're back, that means. I mean, they beat Notre Dame last week or 2 weeks ago. So that just spurs everybody to think they're back. Maybe Notre Dame's just not that good. But
I just think the way they've been playing the last 2 weeks to kind of shows people they're somewhat back. Now being back to being 7.5-point favorites over UNC is not where I would have gone with that, but and the hook is tough. Really doesn't make me very happy.
The hook is tough.
And I'm going to take Clemson anyway. Clemson minus 7.5. Klubnik over Drake May.
Don't even say it like that. Come on.
That's where I'm going to go with it. Oh, by more than a touchdown as well. Klubnik over May by more than a touchdown.
Klubnik over May. Nothing to do with the Clemson defense or anything like that. Just Klubnik outplaying Drake May.
Yes, and let me just quote that really quick. Klubnik outplaying Drake May. Kyle.
What?
That's what you just said.
That's what I said. You said.
I'm not quoting that part.
Oh, I love the misquotes. Just love being misquoted and not misquoted because it's a real quote.
It's exactly.
Like,
it's not misquotes.
Misinterpreted, like taken out of context. That's what I was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's not a square pick to go UNC plus 7.5 then.
I think it still is.
I
don't know how it's not, but I just think it is.
The public's 56% Clemson.
Yeah, but it's. I'm still. We're just gonna call you a square anyway.
You know where my pick is before I say it. Then, UNC plus 7.5. I think Clemson may win this game. I think they will. I don't know if they will. I won't say that. I just said it, but got it. It's 11:20. I'm tired, but I think Clemson may win this game. I like having the hook on my side with UNC. Like you mentioned, the hook makes this game real tough. I like having the 7.5. I think this really well could be like a 3-4-7 type game either way. So I like that. I like that being on my side. With that said, I'm taking UNC plus 7.5 with the hook. Give me Mac. Give me Mac. Give me Drake May. Give me like 40 points. Come on. Because we know that they just put up points always. Next here we got the Kansas rivalry.
Sunflower Showdown.
What's it?
The Sunflower Showdown.
The Sunflower Showdown. That's the real name. I just came out here and said Kansas rivalry. I was gonna say Kansas Derby and go all soccer on you, but the Sunflower Showdown. 7:00 FS1. Damn shame that this wasn't on like Real Fox or something, but you know. Kansas, God, I'm all over the place. Number 21 Kansas State on the road against number 25 Kansas. A ranked versus ranked matchup in Kansas. Look at that. Kansas State 9.5 point favorites on the road. Over under 57.5. JP, you think Kansas could get it done in Lawrence?
Everything about Kansas tells me no. Including the fact that Kansas State has just been playing. This is really about Kansas State. Kansas State's been playing out of their minds. I just watched them score 59 points on my team last week, so let that take my words with a grain of salt here. But their offense is so good. They score so many points. It's so unfair. Kansas is still. We can finally ask if the quarterback is playing.
Oh, Jalen Daniels is not playing. I'm seeing a headline on ESPN right now. Oh, about K-State?
No, Kansas.
Yeah, I just saw a headline on ESPN here 6 hours ago. Injured QB Jalen Daniels to return in 2024.
Yeah, that came out today. I saw that. I just wasn't sure if he plans on playing this week, but I'm gonna guess no.
Probably not.
We're gonna keep going with he's not playing ever. He won't play in 2024 either. We'll just sit. We're gonna break that one right now. We're gonna be the first to say it.
Whoa.
And then when we're
Breaking
right,
news.
then we can come back. And if we're not right, I'll delete the episode. So their backup quarterback, I want to say it's Jason Bean. I know his last name is Bean. He played well against Oklahoma, which was surprising. I'm just going to see who they played last week. Yeah, and then they've in the last 2 weeks they beat Iowa State by 7 after going out to what I believe was a 28-0 lead. No, that was Iowa State BYU last week. Never
I
mind.
think Cole Ballard started against Texas Tech last week.
That makes sense because they lost to Texas Tech 16-13. And I remember watching that game, and I remember it was really bad.
I actually did watch some of that game, and yeah, it was a tragedy. It was a tragedy to lose the game at the end there. I think it was like 20 seconds left. Texas Tech threw a bomb and then tied it up.
Oh, that's right. I was watching that.
Yeah.
I also had Texas Tech plus 3.5, so I was fine.
I was on the other side.
I know. That's why you were watching it.
Yeah.
In this one, the only analysis I can really give you is Kansas State minus 9.5. What I don't understand is the public is 63% on Kansas.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe just rivalry game method. They're gonna keep it close because it's a rivalry game. That's the only thing I can think of.
That's all I got, but I'm not thinking that, so I'm gonna go ahead and take Kansas State minus 9.5.
God, yeah, Kansas State's last 4 games: 41-3 against TCU, 41-0 against Houston, 33-30 loss on the road to Texas. That's not a bad loss. 50. I'm sorry. Do I even need to say it? I'm on the road now. I am 59-25 against Baylor. And they're technically still in contention for the in this crazy tiebreaker scenario in the Big 12.
Yeah, because they only have 2 losses now, but so does essentially everyone else.
So does Oklahoma State, Oklahoma, Iowa State. Yeah, those 4 teams are tied for it.
Yeah.
And then Texas.
So, yeah, they're still in it, and they play Kansas and Iowa State. So not the worst end of the season for them. They're getting hot at the right time.
Yeah, and they still have. Well, they have those 2 games to make something happen. I don't think Kansas is good enough to stop them either. K-State minus 9.5. I mean, I think we both have the same analysis here, just looking at their offense the last few weeks and saying, yeah, no.
Yep.
That makes it easy. We move on to what's probably the game of the week. Also, the absolute, maybe second most wild, probably most wild line of the week. You said the most wild line you've ever seen. 7:30 ABC, number 5 Washington on the road in Corvallis against number 11 Oregon State. The over-under 62.5. I'm going to start with that one before saying Oregon State are minus 1.5 or 1.5 point favorites. Oh my God.
The bad part about this is that you could have told me Oregon State was like number 25, and I would have believed you. I would not have thought they were number 11. So maybe it's not one of the more shocking lines I've seen.
It's still shocking to me. It's still very shocking to me.
It's still very surprising. It's a product of it's just Pate's ratings being right when he rates Washington so far down. When the books do some shit like this, because
But when you look at Oregon State's schedule now, I mean, I'm looking at their resume for the season. I have it up. Their best win is Utah, who, I mean, they're good. They're really good. I think they're very good. Mm-hmm. But it's not like this huge win to get a 2-loss team up to number 11 at this point.
Well, they're going to have some really good wins when they finish the season by beating Washington and Oregon.
Well, yeah, there's that.
which would be wild.
Imagine they just absolutely ruin the Oregon-Washington Pac-12 championship.
Yeah, they could beat Washington, beat Oregon, and then play Washington again in the Pac-12 championship, and then beat them again.
But wait, Arizona has a head-to-head win against Oregon State and are also a two-loss team in the conference.
Did Arizona play Oregon?
Oh my God, we're working out tiebreaker scenarios right now.
Live on.
Arizona did not play Oregon.
So how would that work? Then you can't do head-to-head.
That
right?
would be wild. I don't know. Because
Huh.
Oregon State would have. This is just a crazy scenario here. It's helpful that they're going to win both of these games.
Yeah. So we started the scenario with they beat Washington and Oregon, and then we're going to keep going from there.
Yeah. DJ Ukulele's back at it.
He's killing it now. What do you think the public's on here?
Washington.
It's 57% Oregon State.
Oh my God.
So
now it makes even less sense.
So I'm going to do what you did with UNC, where I'm technically not a square, and I'm going to take Washington plus 1.5. So if I cover both of my bases, either Clemson, no. Oh, I'm doing the wrong thing now. I should take both Clemson and Oregon State, or both UNC and Washington, so that I win one of them. I'm probably going to end up betting UNC. I already started thinking about that. But for the podcast, I'm taking Washington plus 1.5. They're Washington. That's my analysis. Future Vikings legend at quarterback. That's really all I have to say.
So this may end up being just oh God. Yeah. They put up 62 points last week. This may end up being Oregon State. It's against Stanford, but this may end up being a heater. This may end up being an over game, even though it's a big number. Washington games do typically put up big total numbers. I've been saying all season. I say this every time we analyze a Washington game. I've been saying all season that Washington is the best team in the country. Do I necessarily believe that anymore? No. But I'm just gonna keep riding them. It's just that simple. Oregon or Washington plus 1.5. I cannot believe they're underdogs in this spot. It'll certainly be a fun game to watch.
Apparently.
Oregon State's going to be going crazy. This is like that school's last stand.
Yeah.
Against the tyranny that is the rest of the Pac-12 besides them in Washington State.
Yeah. Yeah, this is good.
Like if they could just come in, I know, and beat Washington and Oregon back to back. Like I don't want to say they're sending them packing because it's the other way around. The rest of the Pac-12 is sending these two teams to die. But it's just like one last fuck you.
They should just get a Big Ten berth automatically.
Yeah.
Just crown them Big Ten West champions. Just forget Iowa or whoever comes out of there. Just crown Oregon State Big Ten West champions this year. I like that.
I like that idea a lot.
Yeah, we're on the same side. I agree. Washington is not the best team in the country right now, but I don't think this is the week where we find that out.
Well, yeah, I think the week where we find that out is coming in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah. Spoiler alert for our pick for that week. When we may be doing this live, who knows?
I wonder what the tiebreaker for Oregon and Arizona would be, just the two of them, if Oregon State beats Oregon.
Those tiebreakers get crazy sometimes. Like the ACC is like record. It goes into like head to head against against the best team, and it just goes down the line. It's like, did you beat this team? Yes or no? Did you beat this team? Yes or no? It just goes down the line in the standings.
That's so funny. They apparently the Big 12 released something about a tiebreaker that Oklahoma fans weren't happy about, and I was like, I still don't know what it is because my team's so far out of it that I don't care. I don't care enough to look into it.
Now I'm looking into it.
Oh, yeah.
Live on the podcast. We're looking into a lot this week. Tiebreaker rules that could hurt Kansas State.
Oh, Kansas State. I thought they hurt Oklahoma.
In any three-way tie, the team that defeated the other two wins the tiebreaker if not all three teams have played each other. What?
So
I'm confused. In the event of a multiple team tie, head-to-head win takes precedent. If all the tie teams are not common opponents, the tie team that defeated each of the... What?
Oh, I see. So Oklahoma
so if they didn't all play each other, if one team goes 2-0 against the others, they win.
Yeah, so like Oklahoma State beat both Oklahoma and Kansas State, and Oklahoma and Kansas State didn't play each other, so Oklahoma State would have the tiebreaker. If that's how it goes.
Yeah. Okay. So that's why both K-State and Oklahoma fans are angry.
Yeah, I only saw Oklahoma fans because I don't see a lot of Kansas State fans. I can't say that. They had me on their podcast last year. I see a lot of them. Did not see them complaining about it. My whole timeline is just Bart versus Onion right now, so there's that.
I just know about the Bart. What the hell's the Onion?
Oh, the Onion is the other side.
Oh, I didn't know there was another side.
Yeah, it's smaller for sure, because Eddie is Bart and he started it, and then I don't know who started Onion.
All right.
I announced my commitment today.
You announced your team Bart. I saw that.
Yes, I did.
I'm probably team Bart too, just because I don't know what team Onion is. Moving on. To best bets. So JP, I think you're taking a little bit of a homer pick on your best bet this week.
No, I don't want to do that. So what were you telling me about Georgia, Florida, about the reasoning for Kansas State, Kansas, why people might be on Kansas, why you're on Miami for Florida State game? Tell me about these rivalry games. What do they do?
They're close.
They're close. TCU is a 13-point favorite against Baylor. Now, it's in TCU.
TCU's not good.
They're not good. Now, we're really not good. But I don't think the not good is that far apart. I'm really hoping. Couple other things to focus on here. TCU, 88% of the public is on them. And the line has not moved because it was 13-14 to start the week. And the other thing, possibly the biggest factor in all of this, the official TCU football account a couple hours ago tweeted out an onion emoji. So they're Team Onion.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm.
Has Baylor tweeted out Bart yet?
No.
Mistake.
But we are anti-Onion here. So we're going to go with Baylor plus 13.
Anti-Onion, baby.
Yeah. Team Bart forever. I'm gonna have to tag Eddie when I release this tweet or when I tweet about the podcast now.
For my best bet, I'm going out west to a city that I was just in, LA. It's another one of these rivalry games that we're talking about. UCLA, UCLA, USC. But there's a kicker with this one. There's been rumors circulating this week that Chip Kelly is going to get fired after this game, regardless of what happens. Why would that motivate? Why would that motivate him to coach well? Why would that motivate the team to really play well? I maybe do it for him one more time on the way out. I don't know. Like USC are 6.5-point favorites here at home. I gotta go for the team whose coach isn't gonna get fired after the game. If these rumors are true, of course. But Pate was talking about it, so I believe there's probably some smoke to these rumors. So USC minus 6.5. This is my best bet of the week. And then for the podcast parlay, I'm going back to the well. That has done us decently this year. If you've been betting their unders, you've been doing real well.
Yeah.
But Iowa, number 16 Iowa. What a thing to say. That team sucks. Number 16 Iowa getting the win at home against Illinois. Money line. That's my podcast parlay pick this week.
I'm scrambling. I'm changing my pick.
Oh no.
Yeah, I have to do it.
We were happy.
Yeah, but when we started recording, I remembered that UCF tweeted out a Bart meme, so I can't pick against them. I was gonna take Texas Tech, but I can't pick against them.
UCF How do you like sucked, though?
I know, and I want to pick. They just killed Oklahoma State, and it was a textbook Lane Kiffin game. Pate called it so well, and they killed them at home. And I want to pick them a letdown spot. Okay, I'm gonna do it. It's the parlay. It's not a real bet. I'm not just betting on Tech. So I'm gonna take them. My leg is Texas Tech money line. I just gave you all my reasoning. UCF is coming off an insane win, and there's going to be a letdown here. Joey McGuire is a great coach, great school that he came from, Texas Tech has good running game. Their quarterback throws less interceptions this year than he did last year, something Tyler Van Dyke would not know about. So I'm going to take Texas Tech. Really just betting the letdown spot for UCF. And that parlay is plus 194.
Let's go.
So we're trying to come back. We're trying to come back from our I'm going to the folder to make sure it was still 194. Yeah, we're trying to come back from our current hole. We are minus 1.12 units on the season. Doesn't help that we didn't do anything last week. Maybe it does help. Maybe we would have lost. We'll look on the bright side and say we would have lost.
Hey, last week we both went on heaters, so maybe we would have won.
The afternoon stretch for us was very good last week.
Oh my God!
Kyle was 7-3 and I was 8-2. So, yeah, that helped us significantly. I just needed Oregon minus 16 to go 9-1 in that stretch.
Oh my!
It also would have put me up 3 games on the week, so that really would have helped me actually.
Yeah, I'm still up 10.
Yeah.
But me peer pressuring you off the podcast, off changing your podcast parlay pick scares me that now we might lose it. But I love it.
It's the right play. It is.
Love to hear that. All
I
right.
don't.
All right, so it sounds like you're actually home this week. I'm actually home this week as well. I was thinking about going down to Louisville, but I mean going down to Miami. But
I'm not home this week.
oh God,
I
this weekend?
I got back tonight. Tomorrow I'm home. Friday. Saturday I play my last flag football game, and then I fly out at 7:30ish p.m. Going to Palm Springs for the week.
Oh my God, back to
But
California.
different California. It's like the you know how you work all day on your big screen or your medium sized screen,
Yeah,
and then you log out and you use your small screen and your big screen, and they make you happy, and the medium screen makes you sad.
yeah.
This is where like I go to this part of California and it makes me sad, and then next week I go to the other part of California and it makes me happy.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm gonna be there for Thanksgiving that whole week. Come back on Sunday after Thanksgiving, and then the next day, Monday, I will fly to the bad part of or the part of California that makes me sad. So yeah, I'm gonna try and watch some football this weekend. We'll see how it goes.
So yeah, I guess I'm going. I'm home this weekend and then home for Thanksgiving and all that. But then I guess I was in the California part that made me sad last week, which is Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
But then Orange County is the one that makes me happy. So it's like the opposite.
Well, we're gonna have to, yeah, as long as it makes you happy, as long as I see you, it'll make me happy. So we'll have to work that out.
All right. Let's see if we can make that happen.
Yeah.
On that note, maybe see you guys next week and enjoy the games and share, subscribe, do all that. I almost missed it. All right. It's late. It's time to go to sleep. See you guys.
See y'all.